Welcome back to movingprofessional.com. So today I want to have a discussion about running and demonstrate a couple of drills that I usually have clients or patients do to improve their running efficiency and decrease their likelihood of injury with running. So the first thing to address is, is there an appropriate way to run? Is there a best way to run? And my answer to that would be not really, but there's a couple I think common denominators that you want to look for, and you'll see them with high-level runners and very efficient runners. And it's not necessarily whether it's a heel strike or a forefoot strike, but more importantly, how you're landing, so how hard your foot is coming down, and how quickly you can pull your leg back up and through, they go hand in hand. So if you're able to get a good pull up during the phase of running where your foot strikes and you pull up and you're pretty powerful and strong doing that, you're likely going to be spending less time coming down through the ground and more time tapping and pulling up. So I usually teach people to decrease their stride length because most need to do that first in order to have a lighter footfall and a lighter landing. So the first thing to incorporate is just an agility ladder, but not for the way that it's typically used for agility-based athletes where you're trying to move with as much quickness as possible, but just more to change the cadence around so that you are naturally able to land a little bit lighter. All right, so just starting with a good posture, if you have your palms forward here, and then you just bring your hands up, so you're making a right angle where your upper arm is in line with your body, and you're making a right angle at the elbow, and then just flip your thumbs up a little bit with a nice relaxed hand so you're not squeezing too tight, but your thumb is just on the top of the index finger, and you should have a grip that you can hold a piece of paper, but someone should be able to slip it out of your finger pretty easily. All right, and now we'll just keep your shoulders back so you're not running the whole time with the shoulder and the neck and everything forward. So if you can build up some endurance in this position with the arm in a right angle and the shoulders slightly back but gently back, your torso is going to be more upright and you'll be a little bit more balanced throughout the whole run. All right, and then start with that position, and then you just have people tap one foot in each block. And just the goal here is lightness on your feet, not speed, not quickness. And you can do this all day long. And you're just training that ability to be light. So the agility ladder and the rungs of the agility ladder make it almost impossible to hit hard. If you can do the agility ladder, you're going to be landing lighter than you otherwise would. So you don't have to really teach people anything other than they just have to be able to negotiate the ladder. And most people can do that right away. All right, it doesn't necessarily carry over to running right away, but some training on that will be the first step to teaching how to be a little bit lighter through your feet. All right, and then more specific to running would be looking at the pose running style. Will have you take on this position where you're basically pulling up with the hamstring so that my foot is in line with my other leg. All right, so it's not back, I'm not doing a butt kick, and I'm not doing a high knee. I'm just pulling up at about a 45-degree angle here. All right, I still have the same position of my arms, and then I'm just going to do a quick drop switch and land, with the goal being landing light and landing balanced. All right, and you can see that the toe is already pointed downward, so naturally I'm going to land on the ball of the foot or the forefoot without having to actually think about it. All right, and then the heel does come down, so I'm not tippy toe. I am touching with the ball of the foot and then guiding the heel down. All right, so that drill in itself challenges the ability for balance and the ability to be light on the feet. All right, and you want to feel like you're kind of pushing one leg down and pulling one up using the hamstring. All right, and your focus should be on trying to keep the foot in line with the leg, not behind it, not in front of it. All right, you can do that. It's all about practice. So you're not trying to do that necessarily for a specific amount of repetitions. Setting a timer can be helpful, and just really practicing until you feel like you're getting a little bit better with it. All right, and then from there, you can turn it into running in place with the same type of pull-up each time. All right, and that pull has to come from back of the thigh and the hamstring. All right, so that as soon as your foot touches, it's pulling right back up. You're just keeping an upright torso. All right, and that becomes a natural motion for you. All right, and then to move forward with that, there is a fall and a pull up. All right, so you start with just falling forward and pulling up, pulling the heel right into the buttock. Fall, okay, it's the same movement that you're doing in place with just a little bit of a forward lean. All right, and the next thing you can work on is just smaller motions, just jogging in place, and then just one side pulls up, and then lean forward, and you move forward with it. Okay, working on that hamstring pull, left side. All right, just getting your body used to being light on your feet and making it effortless over time, because if you're going to be doing a longer duration event, you're not going to have, you don't want to make that feel like it's a sprint type of motion, but more of something that you can maintain in a rhythm or a flow for a longer duration. All right, so you've got switches, okay, after training the agility ladder. All right, and then you have some quick pulls in place, right side, left side, until you get pretty proficient at that. And then you can start moving forward with it. Forward lean, pull up, forward lean, pull up, and then you can do some high pulls moving forward and on the other side. All right, so there's quite a bit of coordination and agility that should go into running. All right, you do not, I'm showing a pose running style because that makes the most sense to me, to teach people to be lighter on their feet. And clinically, I see the most problems injury-wise with people that have had difficulty running is that they hit way too hard through their feet. But if you're running for a while and you're very proficient at running, you can strike through the heel and easily pull up and be light. It's just a little harder to teach those drills, and decreasing your cadence or decreasing your stride length and increasing your stride rate are really good ways to teach to be lighter on your feet. If you start taking on a stride or a running pattern that becomes more forefoot dominant because of that, then so be it, but you don't need to, all right? And from an injury standpoint, the difference that you're looking from a heel strike to a forefoot is the heel strike is going to put more ground reaction force through the body, so you're going to get more stress, more compression through the knee, specifically where the thigh bone meets the shin or the femur meets the tibia, and then also just up through the ground. So you will hit harder. However, you're going to put more stress through your Achilles tendon and the kneecap region or the patellofemoral joint of your knee if you have a forefoot landing. So it's kind of like pick your poison, but at the same time, if you're doing one stride for a while that's causing injury, it might be a good idea to mix it up and play around with both. The goal, though, and the common denominators are you have to be good at pulling up hard through your hamstring, and you have to be able to be light on your feet with an upright torso and a balanced torso. All right, if you have any questions, let me know. See you next time.